When the Nintendo Switch launched in March 2017, it didn't just revive Nintendo's fortunes, it redefined how we think about games. A single console that could move seamlessly from the TV to your hands, no more dividing players between handheld and home systems, just one experience wherever you were. It was bold, different, and at the time, even risky, but it paid off. Over 140 million units sold, a near universal library of iconic games, and one of the longest console lifespans in modern gaming history. So, why, after all that success, did Nintendo decide to make a Switch 2 instead of starting over? Why not reinvent the wheel like they have so many times before? The answer lies in a perfect storm of market timing, creative opportunity, and strategic evolution. Today, we're breaking down why Nintendo chose to make a direct follow up, the Switch 2, and how it represents the next logical step in the company's history. To understand the Switch 2, you have to remember where Nintendo was before it. The Wii U, launched in 2012, was one of the company's most confusing eras. Great games, but poor marketing. Many people didn't even know it was a new console. After the massive success of the Wii, Nintendo stumbled. They needed a comeback, something that would re-establish them as leaders in gaming innovation. That comeback was the Switch. It was a simple concept that solved two long-standing issues. One, Nintendo always had to split its development between handheld and home consoles. Two, their hardware had fallen behind technologically, limiting the kind of games that could be made. By combining the two worlds, the Switch let Nintendo focus all its creative power on one platform, delivering masterpieces like Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Metroid Dread all on the same system. The single unified strategy worked so well that it changed Nintendo's business model forever. So when planning for the next generation, they didn't need to reinvent, they just needed to evolve. Nintendo's history shows a pattern. When they find a winning formula, they refine it. Think about it. The NES evolved naturally into the Super Nintendo. The Game Boy grew into the Game Boy Advance, keeping its portability while improving performance. Even the DS to a 3DS transition built upon what players already loved. Nintendo doesn't always start from scratch, they build upward. So the idea of the Switch 2 fits perfectly within their tradition. It's the same philosophy that guided them for decades. Take what works, expand it, and make it better. This is the Nintendo way, not chasing raw power, but refining the player experience while maintaining accessibility. And in 2025, that means creating a successor that honors what made the original great while future proofing it for what's next. As revolutionary as the original Switch was, time catches up to every console. By 2025, the Switch's hardware, based on technology from 2015, is far behind the curve. It was designed for efficiency and portability, not raw horsepower. Developers are now running into limits. Games like Tears of the Kingdom prove Nintendo can still achieve miracles, but there's only so much optimization can do. Modern gaming engines, physics systems, and open world scales demand more memory, faster storage, and stronger GPUs. Third-party developers have noticed too. Many studios want to bring their games to Switch, but technical limitations often make that difficult or impossible. Nintendo understands this. They built a brand on accessibility, but also on creative freedom. The Switch 2 is designed to remove those creative barriers, allowing larger worlds, smoother performance, and a longer lifespan for future titles. For Nintendo, it's not just about keeping up with Sony or Microsoft, it's about empowering their own developers to dream bigger. Then there's the business side. After dominating for nearly a decade, the Switch's sale curve is flattening. The market is ready for something new. And the competition has changed dramatically. The Steam Deck, ASUS ROG Ally, and other handheld PCs have entered the same territory Nintendo pioneered. These devices are powerful, flexible, and attract the same portable gaming audience the Switch built. Nintendo doesn't need to beat them on specs, but they can't afford to ignore them either. The company has always thrived by staying one step ahead of the curve, not two steps behind it. A Switch 2 gives them a new generation of relevance. It lets Nintendo refresh their brand, we energize developers, and most importantly, we ignite consumer excitement. And because the Switch name itself has become iconic, there's no need for a radical reinvention. The familiarity builds trust. The two signals progress. It's the perfect balance of new and known, the exact formula Nintendo needs right now. One of the biggest reasons Nintendo chose a direct sequel is the ecosystem they've built. Over the years, the Switch has amassed a massive library of games, both physical and digital. Millions of players have invested hundreds or even thousands of dollars into that collection. In today's market, gamers expect continuity. Sony and Microsoft prove that backward compatibility strengthens player loyalty. Nintendo has learned that same lesson. A direct successor means Nintendo can preserve that legacy, allowing players to carry their favorite games forward while enjoying new ones at a higher fidelity. It also makes life easier for developers. Studios can optimize games for both systems, ensuring smooth transitions and wider audiences. This move isn't just about protecting profits, it's about respecting the players who kept Nintendo alive through every generation. When you think about what the Switch did best, flexibility, it's easy to see how the Switch 2 expands on that vision. Faster load times, a sharper display, longer battery life, and features like DLSS powered upscaling can make handheld gaming look and feel like console gaming. This allows Nintendo to explore richer environments, more seamless multiplayer and cross platform experiences without losing the pick up and play charm that defines their identity. Imagine playing the next Zelda or Metroid at 60 frames per second on your TV or on the go with zero compromise. That's the experience Nintendo is building toward. For them, the Switch 2 isn't just a new console, it's the evolution of their entire design philosophy. Nintendo has always walked its own path. When competitors chase specs, Nintendo chases fun. When others race for realism, Nintendo focuses on feel. The company's history is filled with bold experiments, some hits, some misses, but each one carries a piece of the same philosophy: create experiences that make people smile. The Switch 2 isn't a departure from that philosophy, it's a continuation of it. It's proof that Nintendo doesn't need to reinvent itself to innovate. Sometimes the most powerful move is to take what already works and make it even better. So, why did Nintendo make the Switch 2? Because the original wasn't just a success, it was a turning point. Because developers need stronger tools. Because players deserve a smoother, more immersive experience. And because Nintendo finally found a balance between creativity and consistency, a formula too good to abandon. The Switch 2 isn't just a sequel, it's the next step in a legacy that's still being written. The Switch changed how we play. The Switch 2 might just change how far we can go. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really helps the channel out. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you never miss when new videos drop. Thanks for watching, and as always, game on.